Hello everyone, this is Caroline and today's class is the Healers Program Series 6. This is an ongoing class, so if you are attending this class for the first time, please make sure you go back and you do the classes 1 through 5 so that you can catch up with the information that we're going to share today. So today, we're going to continue with the work we have started last time. The main theme of this method is if you understand how blocks are really created, then you will know how to clear them permanently. In other words, it's not enough for me to understand that the reason why I have these symptoms is because I have a virus or a bacteria. The point is, why do I have the virus or the bacteria? Going really back to the root cause of why we even attract the block. If we understand that, if we can go that far, then we will know how to release and reverse this block permanently. So we're going to today reverse blocks with light and color. We're going to talk about the difference between planetary, galactic, and universal light, and we're going to practice. So the format of the class will be that I will explain the class material first, and then I would like to leave plenty of time for questions and also for practice, all right? So hopefully this will be the case. And as I'm speaking, if you have questions, of course, jot them down, and then when we get to the question and answer, then you can ask them, okay? So we talked about the Omnium method being a method to undo, to take out. We started with the first method, which is intent. Today we're going to talk about light and color. And of course there is a lot more past that, because for me it's like this. As I began to work with many people, I realized that when I really focused on the block, at this particular time, this particular client, it was more efficient, it was more effective and more accurate to release the confusion or the anxiety or whatever belief system or whatever block it was through light rather than intent, for example. And even if I worked with the same person the next day, that particular block or another block, it was more appropriate to use intent or geometry or something else. So the bottom line is, if you are truly, truly in tune with each person at that particular time, basically doing everything live and not just doing a one-size-fits-all type of method, then you will realize that the best way to go back to the root cause is going to require different methods with different people at different times. So today we're going to go to working with light, and we will begin to incorporate light and intent, and then as we continue to add more, you will begin mixing them until you get used to basically using all of them. So before we begin, let's define light. Let's make sure that we're all speaking the same language. As you know me by now, I'd like to be very clear. So as I look around, I want to understand how light is defined. When I say light, it is defined in a dictionary or according to physics or what have you, as a portion of the electromagnetic radiation that is visible to the human eye. And light is what we say is responsible for the sight, the sense of sight. So that's how light is described. It is one small portion of the electromagnetic field, radiation, that humans can see basically. So if you look at this diagram, you can see that this whole range of electromagnetic radiation is available here on the Earth. We understand that there are X-rays, we understand that there are UV rays and gamma rays, But the only portion that we see is this tiny, tiny little portion of light. This is what we call the visible spectrum, right? And so that is what people say here on Earth, that is visible light. Obviously, nobody can see X-rays or other form of light. So therefore, it's not really considered as the visible light. I personally don't totally agree with that. I'm going to get to that in just a minute. But this is the way it is defined at this time. This is another kind of similar, another version or another perspective of the same really drawing, just to show the waves. As you can see here, this diagram shows more of the waves, meaning that this tiny little part of light that is visible to the human eye has a frequency measured in nanometers. Sorry, my screen just, let me see here. Okay, we're sorry. It just jumped. There we go. And just to show that the light have waves, and sometimes they're long wave, sometimes they're short wave, and depending on the length of the wave, we see a different color. So all of these colors that you see around you, the violet, the blue, the green, or what have you, or the red, are dependent on the type of wave that this color will have. So if it's a long wave, then it's a red light, and if it's a shorter wave, then it's a violet light. So you can see the type of waves, and all together is what we call the 1 octave of light that we are all seeing on this earth. However, I want to know where light really comes from, and I can see that light actually does not begin on the earth. Thank God for that. Light exists everywhere in the universe. In fact, it starts at the center of the universe. In this universe, it starts way beyond that. But there is light coming from source, traveling through the entire universe, going through every single galaxy, every single planet. So I'm going to call that the cosmic light. But what happens is that when this cosmic light hits the grid of a particular planet, and for example, in this case, it's the Earth grid, this light fractures, it's fragment, it's kind of starts to bend, because there is a layer right here that kind of stops it, and it refracts against the Earth grid. And when it enters the Earth plane, it changes colors, because the wavelengths, the wave of the cosmic light changes. So as this light, the cosmic light enters the Earth grid, and the wavelength changes, the color becomes different. So we are down here, we are on the Earth plane, and we are seeing through the primary colors, which are the red, blue, and green. And the combination of these 3 colors is what makes our reality. The reason why we see reality, this 3D reality on the earth the way we do, is because we are absorbing this amount of light. So in other words, what is happening to the cosmic light is what we call light bending. It means that the ray, as it comes in all the way from the universe and it refracts against the Earth grid, it bends in a certain way. It's as if it was kind of entering a sort of a prism, and inside the prism, these waves, the light wave change, and this light bending is what creates reality. It's what allows us to see this 3D world the way we do. Now, if we were on another planet, the cosmic light would be refracting on the grid of this other planet. So if this other planet had a grid system that was different than ours, then the colors, you see, the primary colors on that particular planet will be different. And if we lived on this other planet, we would be seeing things differently. So do you see that the human sight and the human experience and and the physical brain and the visual spectrum have a lot to do with this. And so if we were to change the configuration of this Earth grid here, then the light bending would be different. Then us here on the surface of the Earth, we would have a different range, a different octave of light that will allow us to see things differently. Do you see how this is so important to understand how the experience, the 3D experience, has so much to do with light? In other words, we can look at it this way. So if we looked at this tiny, tiny little octave of light right here, that is the earthly light visual spectrum, right? Then we realize that there is a whole lot that exists that, in fact, we don't see. What happened to this, all of this cosmic light that just fractured, that was just entering our Earth grid, our Earth plane? Well, it continues to exist in the galaxy. So if you can imagine that we only here on Earth can see this tiny little three colors, the primary colors, but the cosmic light continues to exist around the Earth, right, in the galaxy. So the galactic light, look at on the right side of the screen. All of these are clusters of different galaxies, and you have the Milky Way right at the center. Of course, this is just a perspective, just to give a sense of what's going on, but we are only seeing these three colors where the rest of the galaxy is seeing a whole lot more, right? Or the cosmic light continues to exist in the galactic spectrum. So as you can see, in fact, let's keep going further. If this were the Earth, right, and we can only see these three primary colors, but the Earth is part of a galactic light spectrum. And then imagine if we were to put the Earth inside this galactic spectrum, you can see already how tiny, tiny, tiny the light spectrum that we have here on Earth is compared with the rest of the cosmic light that exists within the galaxy. And of course, if I were to expand that to the universal level, then you will see, you can in fact barely see probably. In fact, I kept the Earth quite large here, but it's much, much, much smaller. In fact, you would not be able to see it compared with the amount of same light, similar information that continues to exist, the cosmic light that continues to exist within the universe. So this means that we are experiencing a tiny, tiny, tiny portion of light from the entire cosmic light spectrum that exists, okay? So if we look at it from our perspective or from a different perspective, here we are on the Earth, and we know that the galactic spectrum, the universal spectrum, are continuing on and on and on, right? But we can only see this tiny, tiny little piece, you see? But the fact that we can see this tiny little piece and we cannot see this massive amount of light, cosmic light, that just exists, but however, we cannot really see it because of the way our brain configuration is, or that's the way we have been programmed. Therefore, we continue to believe that that is normal and that's all that exists. Well, I think that because we are planetary, galactic, and universal beings, remember that even though we have a human aspect that can only see a tiny fragment of light, it doesn't mean that we cannot access the rest of it, you see. That's the point. If you understand that you have an aspect that's human, but the real you is universal, then you can access all of the cosmic light that exists in the universe, even if you don't see it. In fact, let's redefine the meaning of light again. Earlier I said the way people understand light here is what you can see. But what I want to say, what I want to share is that light is not just what you see. Light is in fact a form of energy. It's an energy form. It's made of tiny, tiny particles that we call photons. And in fact, it's the way the universe is made. It's the fabric of the universe. Just like in human terms, we have cells that are made with the DNA. Well, the DNA or the fabric or the cells are made of carbon and nitrogen and oxygen or what have you. Well, the universe is made with light, photons of light. It's actually a little bit more complex than that. But just in terms of human understanding, it's made with this fabric, with this light. So it's a lot more than just what we see. In fact, not because all light is invisible to humans, that we cannot access it. This is another false definition, that light is only what we can see. I say that a part of our being can only see a portion of cosmic light here on Earth, but because we are universal beings, because we have a consciousness that is universal, and the universe is made with light, therefore we can access the entire cosmic spectrum, whether we see it or not. And that's a very important point. Because you see, if you are trained to only understand or utilize what you can see, well, I mean, that's very, very small, and that's very limiting to your consciousness. I say, I don't have to see the light to understand that it's there and to utilize it. So if this light is made of particles, therefore, it contains information. So like your cells are made of particles, and it has a DNA that tell it how to behave. Therefore, it contains information. The information that allows these particles to expand a certain way, to appear a certain way, and to fragment against a Earth grid or what have you. So if it contains information, meaning if it's a form of energy, therefore it has a vibration. And if it has a vibration, therefore it's going to affect your cells. We saw this in the very first class. Everything is a form of energy. If it's a form of energy, it means it's alive. It means it contains information. It means it has a vibration. If it has a vibration, you put it next to your physical cells, and it's going to affect your cells. Does that make sense? So, the big question is, if it's going to affect the cells, well then how is it going to affect the cells? How is it going to change the cell? What is the impact of light on your physical cells? And then, of course, if we have access to this massive amount of light, cosmic light, how do we know which one is appropriate for what, of course, and how do we know how to access it? Well, that's what this class is about, and that's what I'm going to share with you. But first, let's see some of the very basic effects of planetary light. When I say planetary, again, it's using the 3 primary colors. And how does using this form of light, how does that affect your physical cells? Let's talk about certain colors that are the most common. For example, gold has a very, very high frequency. It's actually quite cosmic, but it's like a tiny, tiny portion of what really is beyond the Earth plane and the planetary light spectrum. So it's quite strong. The silver as well has a very high reprogramming effect. If you notice, if you've been taking a lot of sessions, I use the silver to reprogram, especially the mind channels, meaning also the belief system. So it's very, very powerful. White has a purifying effect. Blue colors have a cooling, soothing effect. Pink usually has a softening, soothing effect. Orange brings up some vitality, movement. Red usually strengthens the physical, brings a physical strengthening aspect. Green has a very nourishing, enriching property. Yellow usually opens up to the creative aspects of your being, and purple colors connects you to spiritual, kind of the spirit energy aspect of you. Now, these are very, very general guidelines, and look at this cool effect. I don't want you to memorize this. And the reason being is many people believe that gold does this, and these are very general rules. And what happens is that you start to memorize these things, and it will become like a textbook thing. And when you see somebody that needs cleansing, you'll say, "Oh, I'll just use white to purify it." Or if you see temperature, high temperature or something, you'll say, "Oh, I'll just use blue because it's cooling and soothing." And that's not the way you should be working with this method, that's for sure. You should really be tuning into what exactly is required at this particular time with this particular person, and let go of the of all the preconceived ideas. All right. So let's take a look at how in general, the pros and cons of this technique. The usual effect of light is very soft, it's very gentle. Most people just love working with light and feeling the light. We're going to have a chance to experience the effect of light on the cell as opposed to asking and intending or something else. Light is great for kids or people who are very ill because it's a very soothing, it's a very soft way of penetrating. It penetrates real deep into the tissue. It dissolves and transmutes on contact. So it's a very gentle way of transmuting energy. But even with that, it has a wide range of cellular reprogramming capabilities. It's quite powerful in some ways, but the effect feels very gentle, okay? Some of the cons, of course, it's not really big disadvantages, but in some cases, it may be a bit too soft for certain things that you're trying to do. And what happens is that when you're using light, it may clear the issue, reprogram, or what have you, but it will not necessarily bring up the root cause of the issue. And if in one particular case, this client really needs to understand the root cause of their issue to finally let it go, well, light may simply not do the trick. Now, again, this is in general terms. Sometimes I could be using a blue or silver or what have you, and simply while we're doing the reprogramming, the person becomes aware of the root cause without actually doing an ask and intend type thing. But these are the general idea, properties or pros and cons. Take a look at how it works. You basically bring the light and you place it on the cell, on the organ that you are working with, and you just hold it. If you notice, for those who are doing the healing circles with me, I just say hold it. And simply by you holding it, the effect, the light begins to dissolve and transmute whatever it is coming in contact with. So things simply just dissolve. The information inside the cell and the blocks or what have you, everything begins to simply dissolve. You see. It's kind of like if you're the feeling, well, you're going to get to feel it. Here's another view of that, another experience with light. It's kind of like your muscles are very, very tight, and you suddenly sit in a sauna and you just allow the steam to go deep into the cells, and the cells absorb this warm feeling and begin to relax. It's that sort of feeling. So it's really, really gentle. You just hold the light. hold the light, and things just dissolve as the cells, the tiny particles of the cells, are transmuted on contact with the light. All right? So let's take that to the healing session as you are now preparing to, again, we're going to continue working with Bob. I hope he's feeling better by now, but so here we go. Your client comes to you and he explains his issue. Of course, you make sure you are vibrating on a higher level. You have already worked out the details of your healer's agreement. You have that in the back of your mind. You are very clear that everything is about the client, and you are shooting for the root cause of the issue. Once you are clear, you are doing the merging with the spirit self of the client. And once you have done that, then you do the connection. We're going to pretend that connection takes a little bit longer. But now you have kind of created the sacred space and you are ready to begin. As soon as you have the sacred space and the connection and you are vibrating at a higher level, it is not your mind but your heart that will retrieve the information. Then you begin to feel. Everything is about the client. I feel anxiety. I feel that in order for me to resolve this anxiety is to bring in red and yellow colors. So all of this will come with experience. In the meantime, this is one thing you add to your contract. When working with color, I would like to immediately feel, see, sense, get a strong feeling of the color that will heal or reverse this block. And as you feel it, you can visualize it, you can sense it, then you focus on the part of the body that needs it, and then you bring this information, this red and yellow, you position it right at the place of the organ or the cells that you're working through, and you hold it, allow it to absorb and transmute. Once you're done, what do I feel? I feel fear about this and this and that. And the best color, I feel that it is orange to reverse this block. And as I feel that and I'm sure, I focus and I ask my client to focus on the part of the body that I'm working on. And I hold the orange color, hold it, and allow it to dissolve into the cells and transmute. And so on and so forth. I feel sadness, I feel it's blue, and so on and so forth. Now, having said that, the idea is you don't just do everything with color, you can, but the idea is if I feel that at one particular point the color is not enough for the next block to be dissolved, then of course I'm going to say, I'm going to switch to I ask and intend. Maybe I get to a strong belief system and I feel that this client really needs to hear it. And in this particular case, I'm going to then switch to ask and intend and then go back to color and so on and so forth. And now you have two tools that you can use back and forth in your session. All right? So here we go. Let's begin with the questions about what we've covered so that we have plenty of time to practice. All right, folks, prepare with your questions, please. The first question, could you please use the microphones if possible? And Kim is asking, light is filtered through the Earth grid, the galactic grid, and there is a universal grid as well. Of course, this goes on forever and ever, but we're focusing on one universe at a time, which is quite a lot. So that's the idea, to focus on the cosmic light entering from this universe. Go ahead, Yasmin, what's your question? Oh, completely different. What happens is that, I'm not sure if you all heard it, but the question is, the cosmic light comes from the universe and then it enters the galactic grid, and then it comes to the earth. And how does that relate to the sun? The light coming from the sun is not the same. It's more of a chemical reaction that the earth, the sun is sending to the earth so that the earth can sustain its chemistry and things like that. I'm talking about light in terms of information, in terms of the fabric of the universe. You see, that's what I was trying to tell you, is that the definition of light, it's how the whole universe was made. It was made with this structure. So what I'm saying is, this is not just about what we see or what we feel through the sun. This is the information of the entire universe, the makeup of creation of the universe. That's why I started by saying, let's define light. And I said, no, I don't think so. Let's define it again. And so what is coming to the galaxy and to the earth is the connection to the entire universe, how the universe is held together, how the universe was created, how the universe you can communicate from one point A to point B within this universe, and of course beyond. So the cosmic light is a massive amount of information that is sent throughout the universe to every single planet, every single galaxy, so that everyone gets the same information wherever you are. Does that make sense? Nothing to do with actually the sun. The sun is like doing a completely different, job, basically. Make sense?
Yeah, completely different. So is there a connection between what we call the cosmic light and what people call like chi or prana, this energy?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said cosmic light is more the information of the universe. It's the information. It means that, like I just said, it's how everything is made. It's the consciousness of the universe in the form of light. Do you see what I'm saying? That's probably the best word, is the consciousness of the universe that's coming to us. You see, that's why I said the way the definition here, that light is only this tiny thing of what you see, that it refracts through the back of the brain, and it's and you see through the lens and all that stuff. This is a human definition, and I'm trying to tell you that it's much bigger than that. Light is how the universe is made. It's made with all of this information. It's a lot bigger. And that's why, because it's information on the universe, you can access it, and you should access it. Even though you don't see it or you can't see it, you can still access it because you are a universal being. So for example, in fact, when we do the connecting to source, you're bringing a color. Remember, sometimes I tell you there's a deep blue or some silver, what have you. This is only for your physical brain to focus on a vibration that is very close, so that allows you to retrieve the information, the cosmic light that's coming from source. It's way back there. So your human eyes cannot really see it, but your human brain, your physical brain, can kind of align itself or open up to a frequency that is very high, and then you are absorbing the information through the connection to source through this light. For example, you do the connection, and I'm saying focus on white color, it's going through your physical brain and your cells. Even though it seems like it's just color and it's just light, but you are receiving information. You are receiving information, how a source is connected to us, how you are connected. That's why you get a lot of what people call downloads. You get a ton of downloads just through the connection, because this light that you are receiving is containing information that's a lot more than just visible light. Go ahead, Sylvie. Sylvie? You have a question? Speak up, go ahead.
No, I don't have questions.
Oh, okay, your hand was up. All right, so let's see. Who else has a question? There are quite a few, so let's see. Go ahead, Joyce, what's your question?
Hello.
Yes, what's your question?
When you mention light and color, I mean you mean that the color is when you say red, do you mean red light? Because I find it hard to visualize, let's say, golden light. If you just imagine the color as such, is it as efficient?
Yes, it's okay to visualize as close to the color as possible. I mean, if you can come close enough to gold, it's fine. You know, you don't have to, if you have a hard time visualizing. And if you cannot visualize, you can invoke. It's like through the intent. Some people have a hard time visualizing because they think they have to see something. To me, visualizing is not necessarily seeing. It's creating an image in your mind. That's what visualizing is to me. And so if you can create the image of a gold color, something that's gold, that's close enough, it allows your physical brain to connect to that frequency, and that's good enough. Go ahead, John, what's your question?
I have two questions. The first one is, the way I'm understanding it now, it seems that this cosmic light is going through the mind channels, and the reason why we see it as different is because it's refracting on the planetary grid.
Yes.
That's the first question. I wanted to check that. And then the second is, so you mentioned now we just see red, blue, green, but with the instruments we can measure much larger spectrum. Is that much larger spectrum related to the cosmic light, or is that something else?
Yes, good question. Well, the first question is, yeah, like I just said, that when it refracts on the, when it bends, that's when you bend light on the Earth grid, it enters through our physical brain, and the way we are trained, we are programmed to see things in a certain way. This is a programming, you guys. Do you realize that we have the ability to see things differently, to absorb the light through the pineal gland and refract it, and the optic nerves can send back the signal through the retina, what have you, in a different way, but that's a completely different conversation. But just for the sake of this exercise, we absorb the light and we see it as it registers as these three colors because of this light bending, like you just said. So this is correct. But the second question is, what was the second question? What's the second question?
It was that with instruments we can measure a much
larger
frequency band.
Right.
That's visible. Is
Yes.
that frequency band the cosmic light, or is that something
Yes, exactly. Thanks for reminding. Okay, so what happens is that we can measure with certain instrument, you know, the gamma rays and the UV rays and all that stuff, and even the X-rays. As you know, we're measuring it. These machines, the reason why you have an X-ray, it's because the machine has just measured that wave. So this is not cosmic light. This is a larger spectrum of what we can see, obviously, but it's not the entire cosmic light spectrum. It is absolutely massive. The light spectrum is absolutely massive. So we are measuring more, but it doesn't mean that we are measuring the entire spectrum. You know, the point is this, though. Science, if you start already your experimentation, or if you start your research by saying this is visible light and everything else is not visible, then the scientists are going to create instrument to measure all of this stuff under this premise, you see. And so we're going to continue going into space with machines or with instruments that measure, you know, those things with the understanding that this is not visible light. So the reason why this is a bit of a problem, it's very good already, the advances that were made to even measure gamma rays. Gamma rays goes all the way into the universe, but to say that gamma rays are the cosmic light, no, it's a tiny, tiny, tiny portion of the cosmic light. But it's pretty awesome that we even got to that place. So the reason why, like I said, there's a bit of a problem with how science goes about things is because they are not looking, they're not understanding that it's very possible to expand the visual spectrum, because if they understand that they would create instruments that are different and they would be seeing different things as they move into the universe. Does that make sense? So I want to tell you something. Okay, so I am a human, last time I checked. I mean, a part of me anyway, just like everybody else, right? So an aspect of me sees only these colors, right? The primary colors that everyone else can see. But when I look into someone's cell, I can see very, very, very clearly, very specifically that there is a lump that's about it's exactly on this side ovary, and it's on the right side, and it's on the top, and it's 1 inch wide, and this and that, and it's this way and that way. So how could this be? So I can see through the tissue of this person, through the body of this person. I'm doing the job of an X-ray machine. And of course, this person maybe believes, doesn't believe, but they go and take an X-ray and they come back and tell me it's exactly what you said. It is on this side of the ovary, it is exactly that size, and so on and so forth. So I've gotten confirmation after confirmation after confirmation that I, even though as a human, with a human brain, I am functioning like an X-ray machine. Okay, this means that my visual spectrum is bigger than what I've been told. I've been told that you can only see these 3 things, and I say, well, I think I can see a little bit more. My point of this is that if science can allow this to happen, then the instruments of research and measurings will become different. And we will start to measure not only gamma rays, but other forms of light, and it will get bigger and bigger so that eventually we can really understand what cosmic light is and how much, much more it is. Does that make sense? All right, let's see, who else? Go ahead, France, what's your question? Your hand is up. Did you have a question? Okay.
I don't have a question.
You don't have a, okay, so your hand was up, so please make sure, you guys, if you can, okay, let's see, who else here? Kim, do you have a question?
Yeah, this is Kim. I'm just following on with my question about the grids. You had shown us a nice image of light coming in through the universe, galaxy, the Earth, and it looked like it was serving as a filter function, so the light became less and less and less at each level. My question is, when in healing, I actually have 2 questions, but when in healing we access a certain frequency of light, do we actually bypass the grids, or are we taking our client and ourselves outside the grid, or how do we, I mean, it just works, I understand that part, but how, literally what is happening? How do we access? And also in one of your meditations,
Okay, let me answer this question first, okay? So what happens is, that's the reason why I am showing you this, you guys, is that even though we're on the earth and we're supposed to only access what we see or the colors we know, which is the yellow and the green and the blah blah, you know, we just what we think is available. What I'm telling you is that you are universal. Your consciousness can reach everything that's in the universe. And guess what? Your client is also universal, you see? But and as you are treating your client as as an entire consciousness, not just his human aspect, then you are bringing from way far into the universe a frequency that will register into his consciousness, and you are doing a healing for his entire being. So when you, the mechanics of this is that when you are connected, that's why the connection that you are doing is not a connection to a tree, it's not a connection to your heart, I mean that too, but you are connecting to source specifically. To source is at the center of the universe. It's not at the center of you know, the Himalayas or at the pyramids of Egypt. It's specifically at the center of this local universe for the purpose to bring the consciousness of this universe into this being, this human person, because they all carry the fabric of the universe within them. So through this connection, you are going back all the way to the source, and your mind channels are allowing your intent to bring through this information, the light information that you're requiring. So your intent says, I want that universal frequency. By the way, we're not getting there in this class, but later on. For example, I want 1200 galactic light now. That's a type of light that is not planetary. It's beyond the planetary, okay? So, but my intent, when I say that, my mind channel are going to shoot up and connect specifically to this frequency way past the earth. And through my intent, because I am, through the connection, my 0 pointer align me and my client to reach everything that is available in the universe, to you bypass time space and you bring through 0 point, there's many different ways. You're bringing that consciousness into your physical space, into your sacred space instantly. So your mind channels are working because of your intent, and your the bringing of the light is coming through from transcending the time-space continuum that is within the earth plane. What's the second question?
Second question is, sometimes during a session, and this applies to shapes and other things, but working with a client, the color will just appear without me doing anything. And then other times I purposely make the color appear. So I guess, is that just different guidance that I'm getting, or?
Okay, good question. You see, I said that a couple times before. The more your agreement becomes specific, the more you advance in this work, everything will become automatic. Like I said, you basically will have nothing much to do. You're doing the homework now. So you're saying now, now that you understand this, or you're beginning to understand this, immediately you add in your contract, you say, I want to be able to see the most perfect, appropriate color for this particular block at this particular time for this particular client. Immediately, as I feel the block that needs to be released, I want to feel the color. And so you put it in your agreement, you stick to it, and then when you are in the session, the color just appears. It becomes very easy. But if you don't work out these things in your contract, then you'll have to kind of work harder, and that's the purpose of the agreement. And so that's eventually how it will be working. You'll be really on automatic. So these are very good questions. Let me see if you don't have any more questions. I'd like to start practicing. And by the way, like I said, we only talked about the blue and the green and the effects of planetary colors. But I will, as we continue, use everything we talked about in terms of the effects of light on your cells are still colors we understand in terms of yellow and purple. But the universal, the galactic, and the universal, here's a quick thing. For example, a 1200 galactic is a part of light, is a form of cosmic light that is not planetary. It is past the planetary grid, but if you invoke specifically that frequency through your intent, it comes through and it acts very quickly. It breaks up the blocks instantly. I mean, this stuff is so powerful. 1800 galactic builds the cell, reorganizes the cell, reprograms the cell immediately as well. So all of this is we're going to continue to build on, but for now we're going to work with the most common colors that we understand, okay? So let's begin to practicing. Who would like to volunteer? We're going to go about it like we did last time. Sorry. First of all, I'd like to do a very quick exercise and allow you to feel on your own cells the difference between an ask and intend and a different color. So after we do, because I'd like you to really feel what your client will be feeling so that it's a more of an experiential way of learning rather than just repeating. So let's begin with that first. We'll do that very quickly and then we will do some volunteering. Okay, so here we go. I'd like you to sit up straight with your feet flat on the floor. Close your eyes. And let's begin to breathe in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth and relax. Let go of the tension in your neck, your shoulder, and the mind chatter. Don't worry about the information right now. Just allow yourself to just be in a very still, quiet, sacred space. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Focus on your heart center. We ask and intend to clear all distracting energy and information. Experience with accuracy the effect of light on our physical cells. Breathe in through the nose. As you exhale through the mouth, bring your focus to one organ. Just one organ of your choice. And if you're not clear, allow your higher self to just guide you. Don't question, don't analyze, just allow yourself to be and just relax. Wrap yourself around this organ. And begin to feel. What is the block that needs to be cleared in this organ? What do you feel? As you begin to feel what needs to be released, bring a ball of bright, bright yellow light, like a canary yellow light, and hold it around this organ. Allow your cells to just react, to absorb this light deeply and to just transmute. Breathe in, exhale. Continue to wrap yourself around the same organ. And now say, I ask and intend to release my resistance to doing this work at a high level, on a universal level, with the highest level of consciousness. I'm letting go now of this resistance and fear from every cell in my organ. Breathe in, exhale, and now fill the same organ with the deep silver and blue light, and just hold it. Allow every cell to absorb the silver and blue light, and to just transmute what needs to be transmuted. Breathe in, exhale, and open your eyes. I would like to hear your comments about this exercise so that others also can hear you. What was the difference between having the light go through deep into the cells, allowing the cells to just absorb light, rather than saying, asking, and intending? What is the difference? Go ahead, Susan. What is your experience?
My experience was the asking intention much stronger, and I released a lot more.
Okay, so with asking and intending was much stronger and released a lot more. Very good. You can see that, huh? Awesome. Teresa, what's your experience between the colors and the asking?
The colors felt very soft and gentle, and I agree that the asking and intending was a lot stronger. Also, my mind kind of came into the asking and intending. There was more of a direct mind energy there.
Exactly, and what happens, you engage, that's what I'm saying, like when it's beautiful, it's very soft, but don't get me wrong, the fact that it has a soft effect on the cell does not mean it is soft itself or it doesn't do a good job. It's just that that's how it feels. Okay, so make sure that even though it feels soft and gentle, but it's really dissolving and transmuting. So I'm letting you experience this on yourself so that you know how others will feel. Somebody who's very ill, or a child, for example, it may be too much. Somebody who's on very, very sick, and you're telling them, I ask and intend, and they're having to verbalize the information that brought them to this really, really bad place of illness is too much for them, you see. So the effect is very gentle, but it still does an amazing job. And for those who are needing to hear, to understand the block, then ask and intend is going to be much more powerful. Go ahead, Jess.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. What's interesting about that is I would say, yes, the ask and intend can be much more powerful, but what's really interesting is when you combine them.
Yes.
Someone was saying my mind was engaged, but when the color just settles in, it's like it becomes real. Like I felt the power of the ask and intend release.
Yes.
Then the color sort of just settles, and sometimes I have epiphanies when I'm just letting the color settle in, like, oh, that's coming out, and oh, that's
yes,
related to this other thing, and it sort of it allows it to
gel.
It's like it completes it, to gel.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I have to say also, exactly, you're right on. That's what I'm saying. The fact that it's gentle, it doesn't mean that it's not powerful. It's not doing a good job, a great job. That's what I tried to tell you. What is appropriate at that particular time? The block about resisting was so strong. I mean, to me, it looked like it was like a rock, I had to break that rock. So I had to choose words and use a technique to really break it. If I had taught you sound, I would probably be using sound, but since we're not there yet. So And this particular time at this particular place, I use ask and intend to break that belief system. But then light, in fact, what I used was multi-universal frequency, but I told you it's silver and deep blue, royal blue, but it's not really the color. It's the way your physical brain can focus on that frequency to allow me to bring information from way, way, way up there. So the silver and blue at the very end were not silver and blue from this spectrum, the human spectrum. It was a universal silver and blue. But if I had told you, if I told you, focus on silver and blue, then that particular focus allows you to align with this higher information that I was bringing through. Also, that is the point or the purpose of this connection, this specific connection, is that you are, even though we haven't officially done the connection, but I mean, it's implied. As soon as we start this class, we are in this connection. In a healing session, you have to formally do it, but now this is an exercise, we're just practicing. So this connection allows me and you to be in the same space. And so when I am bringing to you a frequency that is way, way out there from the universe, it is the connection between me and you. I tell you, just focus on this color, and it's the entire sacred space connection that will bring, it's like the bridge that allows this color to come through and gel the rest of the experience. Okay, anybody else would like to share? Let me see here. Anybody else would like to share what happened? Let me see. John, did you want to share your experience?
Yeah, this is Clara actually. Yeah, I wanted to share. When you wrote the yellow light, the canary yellow light, it actually felt like it dissolved it, but I couldn't feel the transmutation of it.
Yes.
And when we did the release, it actually felt like the information in the cells left the cells.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then the silver and the blue one, it felt like a lot of work was being done. Like it's just like there were like a lot of men doing stuff or something. So it was completely different. Yeah,
yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
In fact, the canary yellow was more planetary, if you will. It's not totally planetary, but kind of. And the ask and intend broke out all of the information. We took out all of these beliefs and everything. And then, like I said, the final one was way, way, way from up there. It was a whole reprogramming, a lot of information. That's why you felt that there was there was a lot being done, because the information, that's what I'm saying, cosmic light, meaning coming from the universe, it's kind of like, if we translate it, let me give you this example. So in terms of color, I said it's royal blue and silver. So just for you to have a sense of, to focus on a color. But if I had to translate this color into a language, another language, then it would mean probably a 400-page long information reprogramming for this organ. For example, the programming of I'm really going to summarize 400 pages in like a few seconds here, but what I'm saying is it contains information about I hate being a human, I'm confused about my physical body, I'm uncomfortable, there's anger and frustration and confusion about these times on the earth, about letting go, about trust in this method, other teachers. There's like a whole list of things that we have transmuted in this one few seconds of light. You see? So what I'm trying to say, again, is that light is information. Cosmic light contains a massive amount of information. And cosmic light is not planetary, it's way beyond, and that's the reason why you have to understand that even you don't see it, it doesn't mean it's not there. It means that it's there, and you, being a universal being, simply by raising your vibration, connecting to the universal frequency, you can then access it simply through intent. Now, the specificity, like I said, later on, you're going to be much more specific. You're going to ask for this frequency, it's 1200, 1800, 3600, all of these specific frequencies you will work with as we continue to move forward. All right. Christina saying, I felt color is more effective. Henry saying, for me, the presence of light is still present and ongoing. Of course, because that very last one, I'm telling you, it's a 400-page long reprogramming. You know, and don't think this is not the case. Do you realize that your DNA, I mean, has so much information? I mean, you can just read about that. You know, to decipher your DNA, it's years and years and years of information. So the fact that we've just put all this information in your cells in a few seconds, it's not so unrealistic. In fact, that's how it works. All right, so let's begin with the volunteering here. And let's see, Teresa was the fastest one to raise her hand. And then we're going to take Laura after that. Okay, so let's see here. Teresa, what we're going to do is we're going to listen to Teresa, and we're going to see what the problem is. We're going to merge with the spirit self of Teresa and then feel what the frequency that she's needing in terms of color. Do we feel we need to switch back and forth? We will see. Go ahead, Teresa. What's the problem?
It's been a constant problem on my left shoulder and my left upper arm. It's
Okay.
just pain and soreness.
Okay, very good. So on the left shoulder, there's pain and soreness. And so what we're going to do is we're going to then do the merging. And we're going to start with a clean slate. We're going to expand and merge with the spirit self of Teresa and ask for the root cause. As we begin to see or feel or sense the root cause, we feel what is the color appropriate, and we're going to do a couple of those, and I'll guide you through it. So here we go. Ready? Close your eyes, breathe in, exhale, go to your heart center. Ask to relax. Begin with a clean slate. Erase all of the information that you have been working with. Breathe in through the nose. As you exhale through the mouth, expand your energy field and imagine that you are arriving through a safe tunnel of light, and we are landing right where Teresa is in Canada. We don't have to worry about how or where, through intent right now. We wrap ourselves around Teresa. We merge only with her spirit self. And we begin to feel what is the root cause of her issue. As we experience, we feel the root cause, then we ask to just feel what is the color that is needed to reverse this block. Just feel, don't question, don't analyze. Breathe in. Exhale. And now begin to feel the next thing that needs to be reversed, released. What do you feel the color should be? Or do we need to use ask and intend? What does it feel like? Don't question, just what does your heart do? And continue to feel. And we're going to intend for Teresa to continue to receive the healing, for the healing to continue to unfold in a safe and comfortable way. All right, first of all, Teresa, tell us how you're feeling now, or what you felt.
I felt the connection from many, almost like tunnels coming in, and that was kind of neat.
Yep.
And right now I'm feeling heat.
Yes.
In that area. I'm feeling quite a bit of heat in that area.
So did you have pain before we started?
It's a chronic pain. It's been there for a while, and I've done a lot of releasing, but it keeps coming back.
Okay, so
I
how?
don't think I have the root cause.
So how does it feel right now?
It feels good. It feels a lot looser, not as tight.
Okay.
And warm, incredibly warm.
Very good.
A lot of heat.
Great. Okay, so it feels better, looser, and a lot of heat. Of course, heat meaning there's energy flowing. And we're going to get to the root cause in just a minute. But let's go ahead and share. I'd like to hear from you guys. What did you see? What is the root cause? What felt more appropriate? Was it color? Was it ask and intend? What happened here? Go ahead, Jessica. We don't hear you. We can't hear you.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay. With the root cause, I felt just a burden weighing that shoulder down, like something was being carried on it.
Right.
I just couldn't identify what was being carried on it. And I decided to stop myself before I made something up.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Make sure you don't project. So was color appropriate or ask and intend?
I felt, since I couldn't talk to her, I felt, I just felt the color pink in that area.
Pink, okay. And what did you feel that the color did?
That it was softening, soothing.
Okay, very good. All right, good. Who else? I'd like to hear your comments on what happened so that you can learn from each other. Go ahead, Cindy. What did you see? What did you feel? What is the root cause if you got there?
Oh, this is Cindy. Is that okay? Good. I felt like at first I felt confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was confused, so I felt okay. It must be confusion.
Right.
And so I stayed with that, and then I felt the color red needed to come in.
Red. Okay. Very good.
My mind said that's too much, but I still thought, okay, I saw it, so I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
And then you asked for like a second color, and then the color yellow seemed to come in.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of how it seemed from the shoulder over to the throat area.
Okay, so were you feeling the effect of the color as you held the color on the shoulder? Could you see they were shifting? Okay.
Yeah, it felt like I held the color there until I could feel it dissipate. Like I kind of still feel it in my left shoulder, a little bit of perhaps like how it
Yeah.
soft.
Okay. Very good. And it was more color than ask and intend, yeah?
Well, when I got to the throat area, I wanted to do the ask and intend.
Right. Okay. Very good. Great. Okay. And who else? You guys don't think there's only one answer, so we're gonna compare notes in just a minute. Go ahead, John.
I felt some stuff was similar. So when I was focusing, find out the root cause, at first I felt this burden, like this weight on me, and then I felt for the color, it was kind of like moving around a different color. I felt blue, then red and yellow, then I was like, I asked for clarity, and I felt blue with a hint of red and yellow.
Right. Okay.
Then later on, when it shifted again, and we try to go deeper, I felt something in my right leg, bottom right leg, and it felt like the burden of life, like not wanting to go through life or something like it. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. That's how you start to get information that way. At this point, you just go with what feels right. And so it's pretty good. Let me see who else would like to share real quick, and then I will share my information. Carolyn, I don't know why I cannot, because you are using the phone. That's why I cannot unmute you. All right, so let me see. Mary, did you have something to say about the experience today with Teresa?
I saw the word reluctance.
Okay.
It just kind of popped up.
Yeah.
And I felt like maybe she needed both ask and intend and a color. But
Yes.
when it came to the color,
Yes.
I felt white.
Yes.
That's a color I wouldn't think of logically, but that's just what came.
Yes. Okay. Very good. So somebody saying I saw yellow color. There's a lot of yellow. Many people saw yellow. The root cause is parents. Okay. Let me see who else. Luann is saying root cause seems to be around being okay to take care of yourself. I sense you use soft yellow. Again, here's everybody has the yellow. Christina is saying root cause and white color. Yes, white. Maria is saying letting go, intend. I felt green and calming. Later red. We saw a lot of red also. Okay. So the real root cause, first of all, you're all right with the fact that I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to open the line for you, Teresa, to confirm or not, that I felt there is also a need to ask and intend. And this was a little bit trickier to find because this was a past life. So the real root cause is that in a past life, so you're very, very badly injured. I mean, you're actually like you were one of those. Have you seen the movie? What's her name? Jeanne d'Arc, Joan of Arc.
Yes.
Okay, so you were that kind of person. You were actually a female too, but it's in that sort of setting that, in fact, I started working on your right shoulder. There was a small injury in your right shoulder, but your left shoulder had a massive injury from a spear or what have you. It just was so big that it kind of the first element, and whoever said that, there was confusion because it was just the shock and the trauma. And the reason why I'm telling you all this is because that's the second element. The ask and intend is I felt that you needed to know. You needed to finally know in order for you to let it go. And so that's a typical example where I feel that this client is not going to really, really allow the healing to be finally dissolved, completely gone. until she understands. So if I tell you this, Teresa, now that you were in that situation in the past life, how does that make you feel?
It really resonates, and actually I started kind of tearing up, and I tensed up.
Yes, because that's the truth. So I feel that as I'm focusing on that aspect of you, it was like in the 13th century. It's very, very clear to me. And so I'd like you to just focus on that and allow this root cause to just come up to the surface. And this is where I would lead the client with an ask and intend, because I feel that if she really spelled it out, then she would finally let go. So I would say, I ask and intend, repeat after me.
I ask and intend
to release once and for all
to release once and for all
the frequency and the memory
the frequency and the memory
of all past and parallel lives
of all past and parallel lives
where I was very severely injured
where I was very severely injured
in my shoulder.
in my shoulder.
I'm now choosing to let it go once and for all.
I am now choosing to let it go once and for all.
Okay. And how do you feel?
Lighter,
Yes.
lighter in that area.
Very good. Much lighter in their area. Okay, so of course this is a class, so we're gonna keep moving quickly, but of course with a client you have more time to continue, allow the healing. But I've sealed it, and she now expressed herself with her intent, so we're gonna put in the intent to continue to unfold and to be completely done. All right, next person, let me see here, volunteer. I believe it was Laura. Laura, did you want to volunteer? Go ahead, Laura. Did you want to volunteer, sweetie?
Yes, I did want to volunteer.
Okay, you ready? So here we go. Next volunteer, go ahead, please tell us the problem.
Okay, well, the problems are so numerous, I wouldn't bore you with them. But I think I'll go to what I've been working on for the longest time, and I have such a problem with. My heart center feels numb and closed, as if there was no way I could either give or receive love. And since I've started this course with you, I have been working on that, and I haven't met a resolution yet or found the root cause.
Okay, so where are you calling from, Laura?
I'm calling from France.
France, okay, very good. So, so the problem is I feel closed off in my heart center. I have a hard time giving and receiving love. So, ready? Here we go, class. Go to your heart center, close your eyes, breathe in. As you exhale, first thing we do is erase all the information from the previous experience. We begin with a clean slate. We ask for the root cause of Laura's inability to give and receive love. And breathe in. As you exhale, you expand your spirit self aspect slowly and travel through a tunnel of light, and just imagine, intend to arrive at Laura's physical location somewhere in France. It doesn't really matter. Intend to be there. And as you arrive, wrap yourself around her, merge only with the spirit self aspect to receive the information on the root cause. And as you merge with the spirit self, begin to feel what is the root cause of this issue. As you feel the root cause, what do you feel is necessary? What color? Ask and intend. What does it feel like? Don't analyze, don't project. As you begin to apply or hold the color around the heart, hold it, hold it. And now go to the next feeling. Allow yourself to feel what is really appropriate at this time. If it's a color, allow it to appear, hold it. And if it is ask and intend, you can say ask and intend in your mind. And imagine that Laura is repeating after you. Okay, so let's see. Laura, tell us, how are you feeling, what you are feeling, what happened for you?
I felt first in my heart center a feeling as if it was being torn, like tissue paper being torn.
Yes.
Okay. And then in the second part, I felt a lot of heat in my solar plexus, and as if the color yellow or golden yellow was being applied there, or maybe it was just my solar plexus radiating that color, I don't know. And the tightness in my solar plexus being released.
Okay, so you feel a lot of release right now.
I feel really a lot of release, and the release expands into my lungs, my whole chest.
Very good, very good. So we just worked a few minutes. Of course, this is not a full session, but we can already see and sense that, we already have a confirmation from the client that whatever we did is helping. So let's share with everyone, what is the root cause, who saw what colors were necessary, did we have to use ask and intend, what's going on? Go ahead, Georgia, please share. Yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Well, I'm not sure about this one. What I felt mostly was like there is a lack of trust.
A lot of stress, yes.
And a lack of trust.
Lack of trust, yes.
Yes.
Lack of trust in what?
I felt a lot of pressure in the chest area.
Right? Well, that's where she has the pressure, yeah?
But I'm not sure about the colors.
Okay, you were not sure. Did you not feel the best colors?
I felt that at some point, maybe asking and intended was more appropriate.
Yes, yes, you're right. Yes. The colors were helpful in the beginning, but then there was some asking and intending.
Yes, at last I felt that asking and intending was more appropriate. So what I did was asking and intending to release this lack of trust. But I'm not sure it was something more heavy. But I'm not sure I can describe exactly the feeling.
Yes, it was very heavy. Yes, I will explain what this big heaviness is. Jean, go ahead. What was your experience? What was necessary? What's the root cause?
I saw her as a grown woman, and then I saw her shrink right down to being a little girl.
Yes.
And being severely reprimanded.
Mm.
And it just crushed her. And
By whom? Is it a father or mother or what?
I think it was her mother.
Okay.
And it just was so overwhelming that I felt like it just compounded and compounded.
Yes.
And everything just shut down.
And what did you use? Color or intent?
I brought in pink.
Okay.
And then it switched to purple on its own.
Very good. Exactly. You see how now it's starting to switch on its own. If if you understand this process, the more you get good at it, it will start to happen. Laura, do you relate to what she's saying with her mother, with your mother?
Yes, what Jean just said made me start crying.
Of course.
Because something came up.
Of course. So you see, you guys, that when you verbalize the root cause, well, it's not the only root cause, but there's more to it than that. But at least what's part of the root cause, when it's the truth, the person begins to really tear up or what have you, because it's the truth, because we're touching on what really happened. And so, of course, we have confirmation from the client. So Willie is saying, I feel very hot in the back of the head, the chest, color turquoise. I felt like I was a cosmic light. Okay, I'm just wrapped around her. Okay, very good. Luan saying, I asked white light, ask and intend to release belief that I'm not lovable. Yes, that I'm not worthy to receive and replace it. Very good. So there's quite a bit of asking and intending rather than color. I mean, there was need for color in the beginning because there's quite a bit of disturbance there. All right. So Maria is saying, I saw black and red. Please try to use your mics, guys, so we can all hear your voice. I saw the intent of centering the roots in the earth and tunnel around her. Okay. Yasmin saying the root cause doesn't feel loved by Creator and is angry at him. Yes. The first color was to calm her down, exactly. Then ask and intend to release the anger, the disbelief that she is not loved. Very good. John, first burning sensation, I got white light, hint of blue. Ask and intend to release confusion. Yes, regarding experiencing. Very good. So you guys, you see there is some interesting consistency here. Teresa, what was your experience?
It was around being unloved and shutting out. A lot of it had to do with Creator as well. I got that message, not feeling loved or worthy.
Yes.
And initially there was some pink color that came in, but there was a lot of asking and intending that I did use about releasing any limiting belief systems around not being lovable.
Yeah.
Or being loved.
Very good. Henry, what was your experience? Henry?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel that there is pressure in the head.
Yes.
And there is something like a block between what is upward and downward, so to speak.
Between what, sorry?
There's a bridge. There's a bridge between the bridge.
Yes.
The upper self and the, yeah, something like that.
Yes, exactly. That's the connection with her higher self, with Creator, with her higher consciousness. Of course, there's all that going on. And so what's happening is that her mother had a very strong, kind of. Her mother shut her down, basically, to really be who she really is. So what you guys saw with her mother is a very important event in her life, but there was quite a bit going on. That's why in the beginning we had to use color to simply calm down the energy, because it was all over the place. And there was a strong attachment. We're going to get into attachment, I don't know, maybe next class or the next, of your brother who was a husband in another life. He was right stuck in your chest. And you have a long fear and problem with from your brother and the husband. I mean, not husband, like a relationship, but it's kind of a weird connection that your brother and the partner are one and the same person, people.
Yes.
Does that make sense to you?
It does, yes, because I regularly I have called my ex-husband. I regularly called him Fabian with my brother's name.
Exactly, because they are.
My tongue slipped all the time.
Exactly, because they are one and the same. It's a parallel aspect type thing, and they are the ones who are blocked in your heart center. So we had to take that whole energy out. That's where you're completely stuck there, because they're blocking your heart center, and a lot of course, fear and confusion about all this. Your mother traumatized you. So the point of the matter is, so as we were clearing, the idea was that your brother and your partner, who are, like I said, one and the same energy, were kind of your hope to reach Creator, in the sense of the male energy being a closer or more friendly connection to Creator than your mother. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And that was such a huge disappointment in your life. Your brother and your husband, such a huge disappointment that was not allowing you to have this connection with Creator. That it's like it's stuck in your heart. You can't get over it. This is what the problem, that's what the root cause is. Your disconnect from Creator comes from your human experience of your relationship with your brother / your husband. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Well, somebody said that I didn't feel loved by Creator, and this made me really burst into tears again,
Of course, because you came to the conclusion that you cannot reach Creator, and the belief system that you developed, if you cannot reach Creator, therefore He must not care about you. He's not here for you. He doesn't hear you, and He's not here to save you. And like I said, your brother and husband are also in the way to that connection to Creator. So what we did is, in the beginning, I put a lot of color to at least calm down all of this energy that was floating all over the place. I took out the frequency of your brother / husband, partner, which comes from a past life. It's very, very confusing for you. So we're going to talk about attachments. Like I said, you'll understand why this is very important. And it's very difficult to detect. That's why she has a hard time for a long time understanding all of this, because it's hard to understand or to see what's going on. So we took out those frequencies from your chest area. And with the light, I put in a new connection, white and silver, that is a universal connection from up here, so that you begin to feel the connection. But of course, we only did this in 5 minutes, so we took out the root cause and we brought in the opening, the connection back. I'd like you to focus on a white and silver color and allow this light to come through you, through the top of your head, just like this, white and silver. And imagine that this white and silver light is coming from Source, from Creator. Just now, you can do it because there's nobody in your heart anymore. It was occupied by your brother and partner. And so just allow yourself to feel it for a moment. Allow your heart to get filled up with it. And tell me how you're feeling right now.
Okay, I can feel it coming into my heart now.
That's it.
But like a trickle, you know, not very strong.
Of course. You've been living in one way all your life, and now we just opened, created an opening. And also part of all this traumatizing that happened with your mother and the big sense of being let down by the males, basically, in your family, in your life, also brought you down, the sense of a lack of trust in yourself. You don't believe in yourself anymore because you think Creator has abandoned you. Creator does not love you. So you've also invented a new belief system that I must not count, I must not be good enough to receive that love. So that's why there's more of this dynamic. We're going to let it go. And I just want you to focus because we took out those frequencies from your heart. Just continue, even if it's a tiny trickle, just continue to focus and it's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Now, don't overanalyze. Don't, in this particular case, we don't want to rehash with the client all of the stories with the mother, with the ex, with the brother and all that stuff. We just want to, if we cleared it, we want her to focus on what's becoming available to her. So in this particular case, I'm going to ask the client to continue to focus on this white light that's coming way, way away from the center of the universe into your heart, and just continue to focus on it, continue to focus on it. Intend for the healing to continue, and that's all I want you to focus on. Don't analyze, don't go back, all right? Okay.
Thank you, Karen.
Sure. Sorry, I interrupted you. Okay, so we're going to intend for this client to continue to unfold, to continue to reprogram with the new information, the cosmic light that is coming through to her. And we're going to wrap this up because we're past the time. So what I'd like you to do, folks, between now and the next class, continue to practice. I'm telling you, the more you practice, you're going to become so good at this stuff. So don't forget, when you have a question or something is not clear or you want something to happen, for example, I want to feel the colors faster or what have you, go back to your contract, make sure you write it down and keep moving, keep practicing. All right? I hope you've enjoyed this. This is very, very powerful information to understand what light truly is. What we've just covered today is actually working on a very deep level in your consciousness and is opening you up back to your entire consciousness, to this whole aspect of your being, so you can bring information in the form of light into the human form. All right, folks, thanks so much for joining me today, and I will look for next week to connect with you again. Thanks so much.